In this video, I'm going to talk about why teens with functional neurological disorder, short for FND, tend to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they crash, and what's wrong with that tendency, and if it's not working, what can they do about it? So let's dive in. Hi, my name is Dr. Lee. I'm a pediatric health psychologist and a teen FND specialist. I created an online group coaching program, Teen FND Academy, to literally help teens with FND and their parents practical tools so they can get their life back by resolving FND and feel like normal again. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about why these teens tend to be like that. They tend to keep pushing themselves until they crash. And so parents are basically wondering, how much can we also push the child or pull because my child keeps just going or not going at all? So in today's video, I'm going to talk about that kind of teens who are so high achieving, keep pushing, and just basically burning themselves to the ground. All right. Once again, what is FND? Really quick. FND is an umbrella term to describe this cross-wired problem between the brain and the body, even though your child's brain and body are structurally and physically A-okay. It is a real diagnosis. No, your child's not making things up. It's not something that they're faking. And it's not just one thing that is causing the problem of FND. It's not just stress. It's not just trauma. It is a biopsychosocial problem. And FND, oddly, is a very common diagnosis you would get in neurology clinic. However, nobody seems to know about it. And teen FND, one more thing, your odds of getting better, recovering from FND completely is really, really high, but you have to work fast and take the right approach. So that being said, one of the reasons why I hear a lot from the teens, it's almost like I'm seeing virtually the same thing, which is these teens, they have something in common. These teens with FND, they are a very, very high achieving, like competitive straight A student at baseline before this FND kind of, came to the surface. And, I was like that myself. And so I can totally get where they're coming from. And so what's happening with that is they're so used to, I guess, keep pushing themselves beyond their limit because the carrot, the incentive was huge, because they are keeping themselves a straight A student, very competitive, like all American. Whatever accolades that they are getting, they have been getting, that they used to get, all of the above. So they're kind of used to it. That becomes their autopilot, tendency. Like when there is a challenge, they just keep pushing themselves. So what that looks like with FND is I'm just going to push myself all the way till the end of the day, and then I'm just going to crush and burn. And what happens usually is if they do that, they might be doing okay on, let's just say, Monday, but then they're crushing and burning for the rest of the week, for example. So they're not able to go back to school, do the sports or any fun activities or hanging out with friends and, stuff like that, right? They're in pain, they're exhausted, they're miserable, but they don't quite know what else to do. And so basically they just keep repeating the same thing. Right? So on a regular basis, that strategy might work. However, with FND, the same strategy doesn't really work. So what's wrong? What's wrong with this one? There's nothing wrong with it, okay? However, it's not working because it goes against the grain of FND recovery. And let me walk you through what that means. So you get an FND, right? And an FND is basically an umbrella term to describe this, cross-wire problem and then biopsychosocial problem, right? The other thing is that FND has this dysfunction of their autonomic nervous system, which leads to this brain-body miscommunication, unbalance, that kind of thing. They're not born that way, but that's just, how the brain has been sort of like trained and wired. And so the teens actually need to retrain and rewire their brain-body communication network. However, if they're coming from this mentality of go, 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 guess what? That mentality is actually a driving force to really increase this fight or flight system, technically sympathetic nervous system. And when that happens, and when it keeps happening, the only thing that's waiting for them is crash and burn, which is just withdrawn, disconnect. And again, that imbalance will continue. So this is essentially what I talk about, dysfunction of autonomic nervous system. This fight or flight and then sort of like a relaxed, calm, chill, or frozen state, they sort of all need to be balanced. You're not going to be able to stay balanced all the time. It's going to be kind of like this, but you can either decrease the amount of how much is going to go or how fast can you come back down. That you can control, that you can train. However, the go, 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 go mentality, it's not going to help, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean that they have to give up on everything, but usually what happens is that these teens continue to get frustrated, right? And then they become super self-conscious about, oh my gosh, I have to do this or else, really driven by fear, and pressure and concern, mostly about what if that doesn't work out, right? So recently I talk about the doubt, this is exactly where this doubt is coming from, this fear and this I have to do, this old way of thinking. So many times in my online program, Teen FND Academy, I teach teens to sort of recalibrate that way of thinking. This is definitely helpful in some situations, but not when it comes to FND recovery. Okay, so what can teens do instead? Well, first of all, you kind of need to know this was a tendency, and then you really need to admit that this is not working. Okay, and you can save that for something else. You don't have to get rid of it completely. So think of it as you're going to add one more skill under your belt. That skill is literally the activity pacing. So it's not just go, 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 but you're basically pacing yourself. And I talked a lot about activity pacing, so that is going to be really, really helpful. And so just to kind of recap of high level what to do with activity pacing, it's just a fancy name for taking a lot of breaks, basically, okay? And then you're not taking breaks based on how you feel or energy level or pain level or, oh, I'm about to have an FND episode. By then, it's too late, okay? So you're going to be more proactive. You're not going to be reactive anymore. This is, again, one of the ways to retrain your brain and a body. So you're going to be proactive by taking these breaks based on time, even though you don't feel tired or you feel fine. But no, you're retraining your brain to take a break. It can be just mini eye-brain breaks. It doesn't have to be like an hour break or anything like that, okay? It could be just like a minute or two. Literally, but you're basically taking mini breaks throughout the time. So think of your brain energy as your cell phone battery kind of thing. And, you start the day with maybe 100% or close to 100%, okay? And then at the end of the day, your cell phone battery is maybe close to like a 10, red, or maybe like a 3, that kind of thing, depending on how much you use it, right? But what if you can actually constantly charge your phone? So at the end of the day, instead of like a battery going down to like a 10 or 3, your battery stays at, let's just say 70% or 60% or something like that. Then you have a lot more endurance because you can then do a little bit more at the end of the day if you still have 60, 70, 80% of your brain energy, right? So it's the same concept. So it's going to feel weird and awkward in the beginning because you're literally manually retraining your brain and body. So take a time. Sometimes you have to use your phone as a reminder. Oh, every 5 minutes, I'm gonna take a quick break, kind of thing, okay? Or if you're doing some sort of project or some sort of workout, then you can take a break based on a segment. Okay, I'm gonna do this one set, of something and then take a quick break. Because sometimes taking a break based on that kind of time doesn't necessarily make sense. So you just use a common sense, okay? It's like, what is it good? But when I say, what is it good? It doesn't mean when I'm feeling tired for I feel like when I'm reaching this max level, then I'm going to take a break. Again, you're going back to the same thing. Okay. That's probably better than I'm just going to go like 100%, 150%, keep going, kind of thing. It's probably better. So if you were running at 200%, maybe that is a place to start. When I'm at 70%, I'm going to take a break. If that works for you, I would say go ahead. Generally speaking, I like to recalibrate, kind of like a cold turkey, as much as you can tolerate. Then start the time. So like every 5 minutes, I'm going to take a 1 minute quick break. And then another 5 minutes of doing something and then take another break. That kind of thing. And then you just keep going. And this means even on a bad day, this is what you're going to be doing. So you're having more of the balanced rhythm and the new way of building a habit, which would be helpful for you in a long run. This is not a quick fix. However, just know that you have that tendency, and there are so many reasons why you have that tendency to begin with. But again, I'm going to focus on these practical things. But in my online program, Teen FND Academy, we talk about this why, the big why. Why this high achieving competitive straight A students tends to get this FND. So if that is what you want to go and learn and what to do with that, then click the link below and then schedule a call to talk to me, because you might qualify for the program. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. And then I want to know if your teen is exactly like this. Straight A, high achieving, competitive student, super diligent, like a people pleaser, whatever you want to call it. Let me know, leave me a comment below, because I want to know. Well, thank you again so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.